In today's episode of Manabonded, Zach tells us how the repairs are going on his 2003 Honda Civic.
Be able to take time to look up a mechanic, be like, what does that do? What does this one do?
Josh has flashbacks to his time in high school. Hey, I need you to solve my trigonometry homework. And if you get anything wrong, I will kick your dog. And Nate talks about some lifelong goals.
If I was bald and somebody asked if they could rub my head for good luck, I would be like, absolutely, rub away.
Hello everyone and welcome to Manabonded, a Magic the Gathering advice show where we take your questions, give you whatever advice we can dig out of our pockets, and if you follow it, that's on you. I'm Josh and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Nate and Zach. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Currently, all I got in my pockets is my phone, though, so I don't know where I'm going to find that advice.
Zach. I dropped my pocket.
Zach, every time with you, buddy. Every time.
Okay. That's what I'm here for.
I just want to check with you guys. Check in with you guys. How are you guys doing? How was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was good. Ended up just spending the day with my immediate family because my grandma got sick and my uncle and aunt and cousin were all sick, so they didn't want to, come and spread it. But hey, had a good time with family. Got to see my sister who came back up from school.
Where's she going to school
then, at? BYU.
That tracks.
Down in Provo.
Nice.
Classic school spot.
Yep. So she came back up for the weekend and was already heading back that way on Sunday. So.
All right. Cool. Zach, how'd you do?
Thanksgiving was good. Spent the night before making an absurd amount of deviled eggs.
Yeah.
And so we could take them to my family and Esther's family. So
the hero
we spent
of the
a good
holidays.
2 to 3 hours making deviled eggs. And then
nice
transporting those over to our family.
See, you guys are big deviled egg people.
Oh yeah. Esther is obsessed with them.
Yeah, I've had them a couple times. Not my biggest thing, but I'll have one or two.
God, they're so good. So good.
I'm gonna keep that in mind for a future party thing. Be like, yes, if I'm going to Zach and Esther's for a party, deviled eggs. That's the thing to bring.
100%.
Wait,
that could be a new currency, honestly.
Did Esther confirm we're cool to use her name?
Who?
Your fiance. Did she confirm that it's cool to use her name?
Oh,
I guess my fiance's name out your motherfucker. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, it's all good.
Okay. Good. Okay. We'll leave this in. Maybe this will be anyway. Yeah, no. So a couple of years ago for my family's Thanksgiving, I ended up making a roll recipe that my grandma always made for Thanksgiving, which I love. They're so good. I use 2 sticks of butter, just shaping them. It's so good, guys. But I made them once for a family event, and then every family event after, they're just like, hey, is Josh gonna bring rolls again? Can he bring rolls again? And I thought I was free of that, moving down to Utah and not going back home to Idaho for Thanksgiving. Turns out I was not safe from that because my wife ended up voluntelling me basically for making rolls for her friend's Thanksgiving that we went to. So I ended up having to do that.
They're like, you better mail your rolls to us right now.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not
carrier pigeon if you have to.
The pigeon would eat them. Let's be honest. There's no animal I can send these roll with where it would be safe. Even my dog, who is obsessed. Yeah, no, not humans especially. No, my dog is obsessed with those rolls because she's very food motivated, as is everyone in my household, really.
Understandable.
Yeah, no, food's good, man. Food's good. Yeah, we had a good Thanksgiving. Played a couple games. Her friends have a game called Castle Panic. It's a semi-cooperative board game where you are playing cards to attack enemies who are invading your castle. The board is separated out into 6 segments. Each of those 6 segments is separated into 4 rings. So your attacks can only do damage to specific segments and specific rings within those segments, and you have to trade with your allies to try to coordinate, well, who gets what card, and do you need what card where. I can't use this attack this turn because by the time it gets to me, the enemies will have moved out of that section. It's interesting, um, but maybe I'm petty, but I am not a fan of cooperative board games. I want to feel like I won and I beat you. And ending a board game where it's like, we all win, just sucks to me. I hate it. It's so boring. It's the worst ending possible to a board game for the end of it to come around and the game goes, yep, everybody wins.
They all lived happily ever after.
Yeah, it's like, why? What's the point then of competing, of being in this game, if it's just I don't get to win or I don't lose, you know?
But you do win. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
No, it's not the same.
Two mana spell. Everybody wins.
That's everybody lives.
And that doesn't even work all the time.
No, it doesn't.
Got
It
a
does
funny story
not
about
keep
that one.
everyone from. It doesn't keep everybody from living at all.
So,
Shame.
funnily enough, with Everybody Lives, 2 weeks ago on Tuesday, we were playing a game, and this guy's like, I'm going to kill one of you. And I'm like, you're not killing me. And this other guy's like, you're not killing me either. And he plays, the guy's like, let's just put it this way. I'm going to play Everybody Lives, so we can't lose. And what ended up happening is the guy's like, Triumph of the Horde.
Oh, no.
It's like, all my guys have Infect. He's like, I'll swing the Angels at that guy because he rolled for it. And I thought it was funny, so I'm like, sure, you got it. And then he's like, I'll swing the rest of them at you. I'm like, I'm going to do a loop that airbends all your guys swing at me away, which is what I was going to do to the Angels if they came at me. But I let the guy get the 11 poison counters or whatever.
With the Angels.
And he couldn't lose the game that turn. But as soon as it hit my upkeep, it's like, you're dead.
Yep, you still got poison.
That's pretty great. Yep. It prevents the damage. It doesn't prevent poison counters.
No, it does not.
Because it actually doesn't prevent damage. It says your life total can't change. So that's the key difference there.
Oh, yeah,
it
so
doesn't
you're still
even change your
technically
life
dealing
total.
damage, so lifelink would still
You are.
technically work. Infect still hits, yeah.
Well, if players' life totals can't change, then they wouldn't gain any life either, because their life total can't change. But it doesn't stop the infect, which is the key part.
Okay, yeah, technically. I was saying, I guess, if your opponent's life total can't change, you can still gain life off of them through lifelink, but if yours can't change either, then yeah, you can't gain any life either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true. All right, well, are you guys ready to get to some questions? We've got a couple that we've grabbed from a couple different sources here. The first one is from my wife, who...
Your wife?
My wife. I asked her for a question. And I wanted to start with it because I know she falls asleep to the podcast, so I needed to get it at the front where she can still listen and where she'll hear it before she falls asleep. So the question...
Good night, Bailey.
Yeah. The question that we have from her is, as a new player, how do you deal with the fact that it feels like new rules are always being made up on the spot? And when you're teaching new players, how do you avoid those feelings? So this is definitely because I taught her to play Magic poorly. I think I did a bad job of explaining what rules at certain times, and when you're teaching somebody Magic, it's very tricky because there's a lot of rules to Magic. The comprehensive rule book is its own novel in its own right. You know, it's just huge, and the amount of things that you have to know of how things interact and how things happen, it's a lot. And so I've thought about multiple times how I would have taught her better and how I will teach new players in the future how to play, so that we don't run into those issues of, well, where in the heck did that rule come from? You know? Because you can start the game like, okay, now you can tap those lands and you can play a creature, and that creature sits there. That's cool. And then, can I attack with creature? Well, no, not yet. Okay, cool. And then I go to my turn, and I also play a creature, and I attack with it. And then she goes, wait, why can you attack? And it's like, oh, well, because it's this keyword here that I didn't tell you about yet. And it just starts to compound, where it's just like all these new rules that are suddenly being introduced. It's like, are you making them up on the spot? Are we playing Calvin Ball? Or is this actually part of the game? So how would you guys recommend avoiding the wait, where did that rule come from feelings with new players.
Don't teach people magic by playing Commander.
No, do
Key
not.
thing right there. If you want to teach people to play Magic, I recommend the welcome decks or even building out of your bulk.
Yeah.
Zach's brother is doing a thing with his kiddos where currently they have decks that are just creatures. That's it. So
Yeah.
all they have to worry about is the cost of playing it and the power and toughness.
And
How strong
I'd
is
imagine
it?
they're like vanilla creatures, right? They maybe
Yeah,
have trample,
vanilla
maybe
creatures.
have flying, right?
No, just vanilla creatures.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
it.
good
These
move.
kids are pretty young too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how they're like what? Like less
It's
than
like 5 or 6.
redacted name, but
Yeah,
yes,
like that.
5 or 6.
Yeah, I guess that the redacted. The oldest is 5 or 6. I like the welcome decks because while they do have keywords in them, they usually have the standard evergreen keywords like flying and trample and sometimes haste and reach, ones that you're going to see all the time and are relatively intuitive when it
Right.
comes to things and how they work. A couple ones are a little bit harder, like vigilance and stuff like that. But it's pretty easy to wrap your hands around
I'd say
those
vigilance is still
those rules.
easier than first strike or double strike.
Yeah,
yeah.
well, double strike in particular.
Yeah, as far as like complexity of keywords goes, I would say that the simplest keyword is haste. I think it just that thing I told you where your creatures can't attack the same turn. This one can. Next, I would put flying. The flying is like if the other thing doesn't have flying, you can't block. And then I would put reach, where it doesn't say it has flying, but it can block flyers.
Because it's got a long reach.
I don't know. Reach and trample are kind of like right in the same spot, where they're both a little bit less easy to understand right off the rip, but they both are also not that bad. And then I'd get into things like, vigilance goes above those two, I think. But what was I gonna say? I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Past you.
Okay.
Pass priority.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I think is important is trying to keep it as simple as you can to help people grasp the easy parts of the rules, and then you can add in more stuff.
Yeah.
That's where I like sets like Bloomborough in particular was good because all of its keywords were relatively straightforward.
Yes.
Aside from Offspring. Offspring's a weird one.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff in Bloomborough was pretty straightforward of like, okay, Valor was like, I target my guy, I get to do a cool thing the first time he gets targeted.
Right?
Valiant, that's what it is.
Yeah. A kind of a different a play on heroic from original Theros block.
Yeah. Where it changed how it works slightly and only lets it trigger once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I've thought about this a lot, how I would go about teaching a new player. And I think what our friend Daniel was doing with his kids is basically what I would do is I would let them pick a color, and then I would build like a 20 to 30 card deck of that color with just creatures. Vanilla creatures, maybe some, as they say, French vanilla with 1 or 2 keywords. Just simple things. And once they get the hang of creatures and combat, then I introduce them to maybe another permanent type, like an enchantment, or an artifact. Something like an equipment or auras are fairly simple, I think, because it just affects how big your creature is, right? Maybe it gives your creature a new ability. And then from there, I might move on to sorceries, just sorceries, so they can understand this is a spell to give me a one-time effect, So if I play divination, I get 2 more cards. If I play giant growth, or I guess not giant growth because that's an instant, but you get the point, right? You play simple sorceries so they understand these are things I can do with my mana that aren't permanent, but will still give me benefit. And then when I feel like they've got the hand of most of that, then that's when I go for instants, right? And I start talking about, when can you play an instant, and sort of lightly brushing onto priority, because that is its whole other issue. But yeah, I definitely think introduce the game in stages. Introduce the rules and the different things you can do in the game in stages. And once they've got the handle of the current stage, slowly add more mechanics and tools until they really start to get the point, and you can start to give them more complicated cards and maybe some more complicated interactions. And also, let them dig through your bulk. You let them dig through your cards and find things that interest them and cards that they like.
Yeah, honestly. I think when I first started playing, I was like, the first time I got like a multicolored card that was like gold
Oh,
instead
yeah.
of just like the regular green blue. I was like, this card's so good because it's multicolored. It has to be good.
Right.
So it's just like knowing it's like looking back, garbage card didn't do anything good. It's just like
Right.
because it was a 2-color card, it made me feel like it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Zach, you also have kind of taught somebody how to play.
Yes.
Did you have
I
anything that you?
have heard this question from Esther all the time where she's like, this feels made up. This isn't real. Like, there's times where she was playing her Atla Palani deck, which is like pay 2, tap it, make an egg. And
Wild
she
that that's what
had
you started her with, but okay.
it's just one of the decks that she enjoyed. But she had a aura shards on the field.
Oh, no.
And so that's like whenever a creature enters your battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment. And so somebody had a thrumming stone out, and so they had cast a spell and triggered the thrumming stone. And she was like, "Well, I want to make an egg and destroy your thrumming stone, so it doesn't happen."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I don't understand why I can't make an egg, destroy it before it happens. Like, why can't I do that? That feels made up. Like, why can't I? Like, it makes sense because I'm making an egg, I'm destroying it, but like the trigger's already on the stack, and that
Yeah.
like she could not comprehend or like understand why she couldn't stop it.
That is
And so like things
something.
like that.
Yeah. That took me a while to learn, and I think Nathaniel might remember a couple of our earliest games where I really struggled with the fact that I couldn't just kill something to remove the ability it had just put on the stack. Something like, well, I'm going to activate my Planeswalker's ability. Oh, well, I'll just kill it. Well, okay, the ability's still going to resolve, but I killed
Yeah,
it. And that sort of level of confusion, and that plays back into how priority works, and it's complicated. It's
yeah.
Well,
Magic is not easy.
no, it's ridiculous sometimes.
that's also kind of goes along with the thing with, well, if you're playing spells that can counter things, you're like, well, I'm just going to use this ability to counter that by dealing with the thing that makes it, like countering the spell that would do that initially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's the figuring out the differences between them. Another thing I would add on is maybe, if depending on how you're set up, is you could, and you have access to it, uh, via phone or computer, is maybe just set them up with Arena,
yeah,
and you guys could just hang out and play a few games of Arena and let them kind of pilot, and then you could give suggestions, or you could be like, if they have questions, you can answer them. Arena's pretty good about helping people figure things out because it's not going to let you do things you can't.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I think Arena's got a decent method for teaching new players the basics of the game, but then it very much is like, okay, here's the phases of the game, here are the card types you can play, here's when you can play certain card types. All right, now hop in a nuclear submarine. Good luck.
Yep.
And
Pretty much.
it's very much throws you in the deep end. So you do have to be ready for that. But yeah,
I don't think you need to know all of the mechanics either. Like even
Nope.
myself, like I have played a lot of Magic for a lot of my life, and like there's still some mechanics like off the top of my head, like dethrone. What does that do? Like there's still
yeah,
mechanics I don't know off the top of my head. Let alone with like every new set that Magic has coming out is like a new mechanic. Like they have to
yeah,
have some kind of new mechanic or to keep it fresh or like keep it going. And like that's why there's always the Joker meme about like everything's just kicker, like
yes,
because it's just some kind of different way of doing kicker.
yeah.
But like
Everything
it's
is
there's
just
so much to know. It's like
everything
just
is
having
really
like
just
a
kicker or
reference.
horsemanship.
Yeah, yeah. And so like just having it be able to take time to like look up a mechanic, be like, what does that do? Like what does this one do? Like even established Magic players don't know everything.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'd say I've got a pretty good handle on most of the mechanics that have come out in the last 10 to 15 years. But if you ask me what Craft With does or how it works, I'm gonna
Mhm.
have to ask you to leave. Ixalan was a deranged set. Um,
Oh.
and I give up. I understand there's like it just sort of exiles things from field or grave and does things, but like, come on, man, it's so much more complicated than it needed to be, with so many more steps involved than it needed. I'm good.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to bring up or not horsemanship, but banding.
Oh, banding's
Banding,
like I
yeah.
said, in the past 15 years, I think I've gotten a
Notorious.
good handle on mechanics. Banding is, I'm
I
out,
love
dude.
banding.
I can get rampage. Rampage is an old mechanic I know pretty
Yep.
thoroughly, I think.
Rampage is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Another fun one was provoke from the old days. I'd love to see that
Oh
one come
yeah,
back, but
provoke
that's
was cool.
gonna
Yeah.
be on the list of abilities that we probably never see again.
Hey, they said that about Storm, and we have 2 standard legal
Pretty
cards
recent
with
one.
Storm, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
provoke
Yeah,
is
but
not off the table, I think.
I
yeah,
think be okay not knowing things, and it's okay not to know things. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
why you have friends or people that you know close to you who like understand the game. Like, it's okay to ask questions. It's good to have questions, because that's how you
Right.
become a better player. So,
Yeah.
And if you are playing Commander, feel free to, if somebody tells you something, just like talk to the players. Like, is that how it works?
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you're like, I'm learning. I don't know how this goes.
And if you're playing in
You have-
a store environment, ask for a judge if you really do want a clarification. Judges are usually pretty good about teaching you how mechanics work.
100%. Always call a judge if you have any questions. If you think something's off, feels wrong, 100% call a judge.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for. It's what they're there to do.
And if you are teaching
Yeah.
somebody and you run across a situation to do something you haven't taught them about yet, just hold off until you can teach them about it. You know, if you're playing with your partner and you haven't taught them about counter spells yet, and you're holding a counter spell, maybe hold it off until you've talked to them about it beforehand, so that they don't just get caught off guard and say, wait, you can just say my spells do nothing now? That's not fair, you know.
I spent 10 mana on this, and you're going to just get rid of it?
I spent 10 mana on Galta, and you spent 2 mana to say, no, I don't get Galta? That's not cool at all.
Yeah, because I think the easiest way to get somebody not to want to play Magic anymore is to constantly be like, yep, nope, this is how it goes. I didn't tell you about this thing yet, and I know how to do it.
Welcome to Magic.
Yeah, swallow your pride. Don't play optimally. Let them, play as best as they can. You play to the best of your ability with what you've taught them. If you didn't teach them it, don't do it.
Well, that reminds me of, I can kind of vibe with the I don't want to play this game if I don't know it mentality, because at school I'd never played the game Hearts that you can play with a deck of playing cards.
Oh, sure.
And two of my roommates and one of my roommates' fiance were playing Hearts, and they're like, "Oh, you should play with us." And so I'm like, "Okay, cool. How do I play?" And they're like, they explain the rules kind of to me, and then we start playing, and then they're like doing things that they never explained to me.
Yeah.
And I just get completely destroyed in the match. I just said to them, they're like, "You want to play again?" I'm like, "No."
Right.
I don't
Not
want to
really.
play again. I actually never want to play this game again in my life. Why would I want to play a game where I'm just going to get destroyed because people are just going to go full bore on me from the jump and not even really explain the rules correctly to me?
Yeah.
So that's the main thing you want to avoid.
It feels like one of those playground games where the whole goal was really just to hit your friend and not get hit back. Like,
Yep.
the old jokes about, like, hey, let's find out who can hit each other the softest, right? Let's take turns. So hit me as soft as you can. And they just kind of lightly tap your shoulder. And you're like, okay. And then you just absolutely slug them in the arm. And you say, okay, I lose. And you run off, right? That's what it feels like. All right. I think that's a good wrap up to that question. Basically, be careful about the mechanics you're introducing when you're teaching somebody. And if you are teaching somebody how to play, start with the basics. Start very simple, start very light. Don't go crazy at first. I think this wraps up.
There's a lot to learn.
Yep. I think this wraps up your question, honey. She listens to this podcast to go to sleep, so go ahead and go to sleep now. Love you. Good night.
Good night.
All right. The next question we have, we snagged off of Reddit, and we thought this might be a good question for the holidays coming up. Username, and I'm going to have to assume this is supposed to spell out Vixens, VIX3NS. I assume, like I said, I assume it says Vixens. Says, "Hello, I'm looking for a little accessory recommendation as a small secret Santa gift." So, what would you guys recommend? Let's say, let's do a couple different budgets. Let's say starting at like a $15 budget. What is something that you would get somebody as a great accessory for playing Magic?
That's a great question. For $15, I think like something like sleeves or a dice set could be a good jump.
Yeah.
It's a little bit tough
Yeah.
with like sleeves because I don't know how well you know the person if it's like a Secret Santa or something. Like
Sure.
everybody could always use more sleeves. I mean, in general. So even if it's like not a particular color that that person enjoys, like it's still a good for a draft kit or like a pre-release kit of some kind where like I just need some sleeves to put my cards in temporarily.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good like starter budget
Yeah.
Secret Santa gift.
What about you, Nate? What's a good $15 Secret Santa?
I think around that price range, you can find a number of life counters. Life counters are useful for no matter what format of Magic you're playing. So you can find ones that are, side spinners. You can find ones that are almost like a card size. A bunch of different options. You can go a little bit more complex depending on if you know the person, or you can go pretty simple with just if you know a color they like or they wear a color all the time, you could go with just that color for the life counter.
Yeah. Looking quickly, just scrolling through Amazon, I think there's a lot of great options. You can get some dice sets that have things like +1/+1 and -1/-1 counters on them, along with like ability counters. Those are a pretty good option for kind of the sub 15 range. There's also a lot of like dry erase token packs, and those can be very helpful for people who play over webcam a lot.
Yeah, or just play Magic in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many tokens.
So what about if we bump it up to say, let's shoot for the moon. If we've got a $50 budget for this thing, what is like one product at $50 that you would recommend?
For Secret Santa, I think $50, like it depends on like if you know the person, I think like a custom play mat. Like a photo that they really enjoy or something like that, I think would be a really cool gift, and it's very personalized and something that they can use in their events and kind of be a conversation starter. Like I know Josh, you have a playmat of you and your wife wedding
Yes.
photos.
Yes.
It's always just such a good conversation starter of like, oh, yep, this is my wife. Like, and it's a good way to kind of break the ice with your opponent, like, or with the people you're playing with. And I think it's very personal, and I think that's a really easy, thoughtful gift for someone.
Yeah, I like
Right.
that.
If you have time, depending on how soon your Secret Santas thinks, sometimes they're, 15 days into December. But if you have a little bit of time, moving a little bit away from the Amazon side of things and more to like the Etsy, there's all kinds of cool 3D printed or wood boxes that you can do for deck boxes. So if you know they're a big fan of Bob's Burgers, Scooby Doo, Adventure Time, you're going to be able to find a deck box that they can put theirs in there. I've seen a number of different Cabbage Merchant cart deck boxes because a lot of people are super excited about Cabbage Merchant from Avatar, mostly because of the memes, but also the card's pretty strong.
My cabbages.
Yeah, that would
My
be fun.
cabbages.
I would say I've really appreciated GameGenic products. If they want to sponsor us, hit us up. But no, GameGenic has a lot of like really good quality, like small deck boxes, and also larger boxes that can hold more than one deck, or more than 2 decks and some tokens. I use the Cards Layer 400 Plus for my 5-color stuff. It holds the base pack of like the lands and the support pieces, plus all of the various 5-color decks that I can shuffle into that to make it a complete commander deck. So all of like my dragon, elemental, sliver, wizard, human, who else? Eldrazi, although that one's more of an experience counter one. But yeah, I can just shift all of these around and I keep it all in one great big box so that I can just bring that and say, okay, what 5-color deck would you guys like me to play now? Or what do I feel like playing? Bigger accessories like that can always go over really well for somebody who needs a little bit of organization or who always shows up with 2 rubber bands around their decks.
Yeah, I do agree with the GameGenics larger boxes. I have one that I bring around, and one really thing I like about their larger deck boxes is they're designed in a way so where they can hold not just their own deck boxes, but other deck boxes too. Yeah, as much as I love the cool Appa big box that holds other boxes, I learned quickly that it cannot hold a lot of the deck boxes that I normally use. It can only hold like
The
the
squares.
square boxes, yeah. And
Yeah.
so I can't use any of my cool deck boxes that I've got from other places, and they just won't fit. Whereas in the GameGenix box, it's big enough that it can fit most of my really cool deck boxes that I've got from other companies. That is just fan art from other things and other media that I love.
Yeah, like I said, GameGenic products, really good quality. Really like them. If they want to sponsor us, hit us up. We're totally open for that. Anyway, hope that helps.
Yeah.
If you have a bigger budget, if you're gonna go above like $50, I might suggest like building them a budget commander deck. That can kind of be fun to give yourself a really strict budget of like $70, including the commander, and pick a commander that's a little less well known and see how strong you can build it. You know, it might not be anywhere with game changers, but it can still perform quite well if you know what you're doing.
I think
Yeah.
with the higher budgets too, like buy them a single that they would never buy themselves. Like,
Yeah.
I can never justify spending $100 on a card, but like, it'd be nice to have $100 card. Well,
Yeah,
this is a
Or,
perfect opportunity for you to buy that card, give it to them, and then they have that card available without them having to justify spending that much money on a card.
all right, let's move on to our next question. This one comes from my buddy Blue Jay in me and my buddy's server that we've got together. Shout out Blue Jay. He wants to know, what are your favorite lesser played formats? Casual or competitive, limited, draft, that cool Dan game, whatever. What do you guys say? A very underappreciated format that you guys love. Start with you, Zach.
Big fan of Party Box. I think it's so much fun. I think it's very chaotic, and it's just supposed to be chaotic, and it kind of lets you be kind of what like Magic was meant to be in like Garfield's eyes, you know, just like fun, crazy. You have like a mix of different card games put together, and you just kind of have to think a little bit on like what would be the most fun here instead of trying to be like the number one person to win.
You're gonna have to explain to me what Party Box is. I have no idea what this is.
Oh, like Pleasant Kenobi. Shout out to Pleasant Kenobi on YouTube. He has his own little party box that he like takes everywhere and has done a few videos on it. But party box is basically where you like have a set amount of cards. So like everyone has one deck in the middle, and then you're playing like a regular game of Magic, but a lot of times you'll have like booster tutors in there. But you can do any booster tutor like for any booster pack. So you can open up like a Yu-Gi-Oh pack, you can do a Pokemon pack.
What?
So then you kind of, it like adds to it every time you play. So whenever you do a booster tutor, you like sign that card with the day that you pull it or choose it, and then you add it to the deck or like the pile. So then you have like a mix of like different card games put together.
How does
you can always put down
work?
You just IRATA it to work with Magic.
Okay.
Yeah. But like if you have a Yu-Gi-Oh card and it has 1,000 power, it has 1,000 power and like 1,000 toughness.
Oh my gosh! How?
Yeah.
So like you're kind of like making it work within the confines of Magic. So like any card you want, you can put down like face down as a land and taps for any color. So it's kind of like a Lorcana sense of like this card can be a land as well.
Okay.
I wasn't the one that brought
library. Everyone shares a graveyard.
Mark it down. Nathaniel did not bring up Lorcana this week. It was Zach.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, you're just like, and then if you flicker something that was a land with like a flicker wisp or something, it comes back face up as whatever it was. So if you put like an Emrakul down, face down as a land, and then flicker it, you now have an Emrakul. And then there's also like little wild cards that you can add in, where it's just like a face down Magic card, so it's just the back of a Magic card, and you can use that as any Magic card you want it to be in that moment that hasn't been used before. Or like you can do the same with like Flesh and Blood or any other card game. But it's just kind of like a chaotic game that's just fun to play, and it's a party.
Wild. Yeah. Send me that link to that video. I'm going to watch it, and I'm also going to add it to the show notes in case anybody's interested. That sounds so interesting to me.
It's a ton of fun. And it's just like one of those things you can play real quick before like the round start or like you're just hanging out for a bit.
That's something that I would love for one of us to put together before we potentially, this is not set in stone, potentially go to like MagicCon Vegas, just to play with other people.
Oh,
that's my favorite format outside of regular Magic.
No, that's so cool. That's great. Nate, what about you?
So the one I've actually played so far, I think my favorite outside of Commander game is probably Emperor.
Okay.
I just love the fun team mechanic where you have a team of 3 people and everybody's got a view of 1 except for the Emperor who's got a view of 2,
Yeah, you want to give a
or
quick rundown
they call
of
it Fog of War.
Emperor and the setup and all that?
Yeah. So in Emperor, you split up into 3-man teams. You can play Emperor with 6 people, or I have seen an Emperor game where we have a double Emperor team, another. I think we had 6 Emperor teams in one go.
That's a nightmare. Please
Um,
just play Commander
it's
in pods of 4.
Well, we played Commander Emperor as a bachelor party thing because that's what the guy getting married wanted to do.
And
So
were you late for the wedding the next day? Like, dang, man.
no, we it ended pretty quick because some people popped off and it worked out. But how it works is you're in your teams of 3. In the middle seat is the Emperor, and to either side is one of their knights. Knights have a fog of war of 1, so they can see the Emperor and they can see the person like across from them on the table. Emperors have a fog of war of 2, so they can see both their knights and both the opposing knights. And the fog of war only affects spells you can play and things you can target. So if you're going to, let's say, I'm going to enchant something, an Emperor could enchant either of their knights or the opposing knights, whereas a knight could only affect the Emperor or the knight across from them. They can't even see their fellow knight. And the goal of the game is to take out the other team's Emperor. And it's pretty fun because you can also, all creatures innately have an ability to march. So at any time they could attack, any turn they could attack, at sorcery speed, you could tap them to march them to an ally's field. So you can just donate a creature to somebody. So I have seen games in Emperor where you take the knight to your right, he marches something to you, you march to the player to your left so they can survive longer because they're getting hurt while the knight on the one side's popping off. Part of the reason why I like it so much is you can play it with Commander, you play it with 60 card, you play it just random kitchen table decks. We can play it sealed. I talked about it last week's episode on how that was a fun way that we've done 2-headed giant before. It's
Yeah.
pretty versatile and it's not played very much. So even if you have a bad experience with it or not a great experience with it, by the next time you're able to play it, you're like, I could give it another go.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think it's one that definitely takes a little bit longer and maybe takes a little bit more time to get used to. But
Mm-hmm.
Emperor can be fun if you've got 6 people and you don't want to do 2 pods of 3. Emperor is a possibility. You can look up the rules. I'm sure they're out there, but it can be really fun.
Yep.
What about you, Josh? What's your game mode?
I really like Star, I think. So the way that Star works, and the easiest way I can explain it is imagine you're looking at the back of any Magic card, right? And you've got the 5 colors sort of spread out.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now.
Yep. Imagine you are the player playing red. So in a Star game, your goal is to eliminate the white and blue players, and your
Just for both
allies.
of them?
Yep, you have to kill both of them. And your allies who can help you and are on your side are the green and black players. So the way it
So it's
sort
like
of
a
works,
3v2.
it's a
No.
3v2, but everyone is 3v2 and the teams are mixed up because
Ah,
imagine you are green's ally, but white is also green's ally, and white is your enemy.
your opponent, yeah.
So
Interesting.
it creates an interesting dynamic where you have teammates who are incentivized to help you kill one specific player, but also to preserve one player. And
Yeah.
the winner of the game is determined by who can knock out both of their enemies first. If I lose both my allies, the game is still rolling until I can knock out both of my enemies. I don't need to take out every player, I just need to take out 2 of them. And it causes some interesting dynamics where, let's say I'm trying to take out the white player. Well, the blue player and the green player are going to help defend the white player, but I'm going to have assistance from the black player in taking out the white player. And
Hmm.
it's a really interesting way to play. I've always wanted to do sort of like a Star Commander game where everyone plays a monocolored deck and sits in the classic white, blue, black, red, green order and plays with those sort of team ups. I think it would be super fun. But yeah, Star is a really interesting way to play, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Shout out! I
actually
would like to
they
try Dan Dan. I think it looks super
Dan
fun.
is pretty good.
It's also the
I
new
would
secret
like
rare
to
that will one day come out.
one day.
Gorgeous.
Yep.
Gorgeous art.
Yeah.
I would like to also try Highlander Gauntlet, because that one seems like a lot of fun. It's just the barrier of entry of building 6 decks is a little time consuming.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with
I
Highlander Gauntlet.
am not. If you want to give a quick rundown.
Okay. Yeah, so Highlander Gauntlet is kind of a offshoot of like Canlander, where you build
Canadian Highlander.
Yeah, Canadian Highlander. Where you build 600 card singleton decks with the only ban list being the reserve list.
Okay.
You can only have its singleton across the entire gauntlet.
Right, so only one of those decks could have a Soul Ring. Only one of them could have a Rampant Growth.
So this is between all 6 decks.
All 6 decks at singleton.
Ooh.
And so you got to decide on what you're going to do, if you're going to have all your cool tutors in one deck, or if you're going to have them spread out. And the thing is, when you sit down to play, you roll to see which decks you're playing, because it's best 2 out of 3.
2, except for your base 6. Okay.
Yeah, and then you get from what it seems like, you get to choose your 3 that you're playing for the match, like what order you're playing them in.
For those 3.
But you rolled for those 3, so you don't know, so you can't just throw all your tutors in one deck and hope you roll it all the time.
This deck is super good and stacked with all the cards, and you're like, well, I didn't even get it, so what was the point?
Yeah, I'm playing my I got stuck with my Pauper Goblin deck instead. Oops, that sucks.
Yeah,
that's rough, buddy.
Yeah, that's rough, buddy. But that's one that I thought would be fun. I really like the fact that it's got no ban list aside from the reserve list, so you get to play stuff like Tinker, Channel. You get to play all these fun cards that you don't get to play anywhere else. They might not be the best, but you still get to play them. You get to play some of the cards that have been banned in Commander that you might have copies floating around.
Prime time.
Yeah, it's also a fun thing where if you build a wheel, you can play against somebody with just that one wheel. So you can take turns rolling the dice, see who plays which deck, and then you can just play off of one deck. The guy who kind of came up with it, I'll have to see if I can find his thing. He ran an event this year at Vegas, and this person came with their partner, and they're like, "Hey, is it cool if my partner runs the 3 decks that I'm not running?" And they're like, "Yeah, that totally makes sense. Why not? Because you only get to run 3 of them."
Yeah.
So it
just makes sense.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's a fun format that I want to try. It's just got to build 600 card singleton decks, and that's a time
that's a lot. Yeah, it's a cool format though. It's a cool idea. Yeah. Like you can choose whatever cards you want, but there's a chance you won't play it at all. Like
yeah,
exactly.
No, I love
that. I got a stack of cards I'm working towards building and trying to figure out what one of them is, what each of them are.
All right.
I'd also like to shout out Judge Tower. I think if you're
trying
to learn timing restrictions or like how the rules of Magic works, Judge Tower, if you want to commit to it, it's so good to really know mechanics to the heart.
Also learn how bad your friends are at rules.
Yeah. Zach, you want to give us a quick explanation, 2 minutes, of what Judge Tower is?
Judge Tower is where you look at your friends and you judge them as hard as you can. They kind of get sad sometimes. That's okay because they're friends. Just kidding.
They know you mean it with love.
Yeah, with love and affection. Judge Tower is where you have a deck of cards and then everyone draws 3 cards and you have to basically play Magic as strict to the rules as you possibly can. So you don't have any like mana restrictions or anything. You just have to, like, if you have an instant in your hand and you have an opportunity or priority to cast it, you have to cast it. And anyone can call you out on not doing it correctly. Right. And then you're out of the game if you mess up or if you don't do something that you could have done in that moment. So it's a lot of like, if there's something in the grave and you can target it with something, you have to target it even if it doesn't do anything. But just because you are able to target it, you have to target it. Yeah. And then if someone calls you out on it, you're now out of the round until the next round.
Yeah, the way I understand it, it's a big shared deck, so similar to how Dan plays, of the most complicated and unintuitive cards in Magic. And you play basically either until somebody loses 20 life or until somebody makes a rules mistake. And if you catch their rules mistake, they're out. So
Yes.
you've got to be on top of your own rules. You've got to be on top of your opponent's rules, and you've also just got to play a good game of Magic. It's very interesting.
On top of the catching other people, you are playing with your hand revealed, so that way, if that way, people can call you out if you're not casting an instant when you could.
Yeah.
Or like if you have something that can target something, if they don't do that, then you can call them out on it. Yeah, but it's really complicated. It's really hard to understand. And so a new Magic player, I'm sure they're like, "This is what I think other card games look like," and I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, talking
You
about
can
teaching
also
players
make
by
a
putting them
simpler
in.
Judge Tower.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Judge Tower, yeah.
Talking about how it's like teaching new players sometimes is like putting them behind a nuclear submarine. Giving them a Judge Tower deck for their first experience is like putting them in the cockpit of some F-22 in space.
Now this is rocket science.
Yeah. While also telling
like
them,
putting-
hey, I need you to solve my trigonometry homework. And if you get anything wrong,
With your
I
feet.
will kick your dog. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like telling a baby to pilot the spaceship and be like, well, this is the fate of the world, boy. You better get it right or we're all dead.
Yeah, what is that?
It's called Judge Tower because like a lot of people that want to be judges or like want to keep their judge knowledge up to date, like that's why they play this to kind of get an idea of like how things work, how they should work, why they work that way.
And the weird interactions between certain cards, like the infamous interaction between Chains of Mephistopheles and Sylvan Library, which I will not explain here, and if you want to know what those cards do, look it up yourself. Chains of Mephistopheles and Sylvan Library. Good luck.
Contribute $5 and Josh will explain Chain Muffas.
Yeah, I'll put my PayPal down or my Venmo down. You send me $20, I'll try to figure it out, but that's it, man.
I'll explain it to you in detail.
Yeah.
There's lots of crazy rules.
Speaking of,
it's fun. It's fun though.
Speaking of, let's dip into the rules corner here real quick. We had a rules question that we wanted to talk about. When do you get priority during the weird parts of your turn? Right? So we all know that during your main phase, you have priority, meaning you get to be the first one to cast spells, to put abilities on the stack, things like that. But there's many other parts of the turn besides the main phase, so where else do you get an opportunity to have priority? So let's go from the top, and I'm going to ask you guys if you think, yes or no, you get priority during this phase. Let's assume.
Are we under the assumption that
Nate, I have priority. I have priority, Nate. Sorry. Wait, what?
No. Yeah. So let's assume there's nothing on the board state that would put any triggers onto the stack during any of these phases, which we will get to why that's important. But let's assume it's a clean board state. There's nothing available except you have an instant you can play. Do you have priority in untap?
Yes.
Is this yes?
Okay.
Wait. Maybe.
Yeah. No. You do not have priority in uptap.
Yeah.
You do not have
I
priority.
don't think you do.
So
because it's just the untapping of your permanent.
The correct answer is you do not get priority in your untap phase. Untapping.
Okay, I'd like to disclose that I'm the only one here that's not an actual judge or has never been a judge.
So okay, I would also like to disclose me and Nate are also not official judges. We have just been judges for small game stores. So no excuses, Zach.
Touche. Continue.
Also, I will get things wrong. This is known.
Legally, I am a human. I will make mistakes.
Yep.
All right. Do you get priority in upkeep?
Yes, 100%.
Correct. You do get priority in upkeep. With nothing on the stack, upkeep is a space where you do get priority. Now, do you get priority in your draw phase?
Yes.
Correct.
I don't like the silence.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was also looking it up because
I was a little worried.
Wrong.
I'm just sitting here going, I've done it lots of times.
Yes, you do
if
get
it's not a case,
priority.
I'm a liar.
Yeah, you do get priority in your draw step after the active player has drawn a card. Then there is a round of priority.
That's what I was going to ask. You get priority
when they're trying
before they
to
draw
leave
or
the
after
draw
they
step.
draw.
Yes,
when they're going to leave the draw step, then you get priority.
You get it both times. Do they draw the card before you get priority or after?
So in the active player's turn, that player will draw their card, the card will hit their hand, then they will move to the end of their draw step. Then priority is put on the stack, beginning with the active player.
So there's no priority before they draw their card?
No. They draw their card
Okay,
before
so you
you
can't
agree
like
to choose.
mystical tutor in response to your draw. You'd have to do that on the upkeep portion of
Yes, which is a
Correct.
common tactic in CEDH pods, where if you're kind of desperate,
Yeah.
you will do a top deck tutor during your own upkeep, and then during your draw step, you will draw the card you've tutored for. So it's not too uncommon. Anyway,
Yeah, I was curious where the draw happens and priority.
draw always
Good.
happens first. So let's
Yep.
go to the pre-combat main phase. Do you get priority here?
No.
And you
Nope.
failed. No, yeah,
Nope,
absolutely.
definitely not. Yeah. Okay,
You
do.
do get priority during your main phase. Correct. All right, now let's go into this
How
combat.
else do you cast spells?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
We're going to go through each of the steps of combat as well, because there's 5 sort of mini phases within the combat step. So, beginning of combat, do you get priority?
Absolutely.
Nate?
Beginning of combat, yeah.
Correct. You do get priority in the beginning of combat phase. Now,
I often refer to this as like before attackers stage. So like
Yes.
before you can declare your attacks, I'm going to kill your Winota, so you get Winota triggers.
once we're in combat, but before attackers are declared, you do get a window of priority. Now, once that is over, we move to the declare attackers step. Is there a round of priority here?
Yes.
I actually don't know. I feel like you do, but
You do. So,
You
similar
do
to the
after.
draw step, in the declare attacker step, the active player gets a chance to declare all of the attacking creatures and where they're attacking. Once that is done, the round of priority begins. And once priority is done, we move to the declare blockers step. Is there priority here?
Yes.
Yes, same way. Anybody who is being attacked,
Well,
or anybody who
Same
controls...
way, but reverse.
Sort of, yeah. Anybody who's being attacked in turn order will get a chance to declare their blockers, and then the active player will have priority before the end of the blockers.
now I have a question here.
Yes.
In Commander, how does declaring blockers work with multiple players? So like if someone's attacking multiple people, but like I declare my blocks typically, or like everyone does it at the same time.
Yes.
But like, is there a past priority of like who declares how they're blocking or not?
So it's not technically
Or
priority.
how does that work officially?
Yeah, it's not technically priority, but the way that you do it is in turn order. So if I am attacking players 2, 3, and 4, each with one creature, player 2 decides if they are blocking and with what creature, then player 3 decides, then player 4 decides. All of these blocks are considered simultaneous, but the decisions are made independently of each other.
Because like if I have a kill spell, like and I wanted to kill a creature, or like wait until see how people are blocking, like obviously I don't know.
You can do that after everyone has declared
after
blocks.
the declared blocks. Yeah.
And then we move to the combat damage step. Where is there priority here?
No.
Absolutely. Oh no,
There is not.
Give me my X.
There is no longer priority in the combat damage step.
I'm double checking, but this thing I'm looking at says that you do in fact get priority after combat damage has been dealt.
Oh, after combat damage.
That's after.
Yeah,
so like,
yeah.
When the combat damage has happened.
While combat damage is happening, no, you don't get priority. But after combat damage is dealt, the same way the other steps are, when the thing that is supposed to happen in the step happens, there is then a round of priority. After this, we get to the end of combat step. Is there priority?
There is.
There is.
Indeed.
So we get one more round of priority at the end of combat in case you want to do something that can only be done in combat. Then we get to a second main phase after combat.
Second question. Wait. Sorry. Question for the ending of combat.
Yes.
This will probably come up more recently with Firelord Azula, but is she still declared as attacking at the end of combat?
Yes.
Correct.
Until combat is over, any creatures that were declared as attackers are considered attackers until the very end, until the end of combat step. Once you're into the main phase, they're no longer considered attacking creatures.
Yeah, once you're in your second main phase, no longer attacking.
Yeah. So Firelord Azula, she can attack, get blocked, deal damage, survive, and then in the end of combat step, you can still play a couple things, get them copied.
So, she's still if you draw some cards off of Biden of Thassa or something of the like, you can play those cards with, like if you have a flash enabler.
Yes.
You can still cast those after you've done damage with Azula to still get the cool copy triggers.
Yep. All right, cool. So the last couple things, we have another main phase here. We know the answer to that. You do get priority there. But the last
Sorcery
2 steps of the turn,
baby.
The end step and the cleanup step, do you get priority in those?
End step? Absolutely. 100%.
Yes.
This is where you before my turn, I'm going to activate Kinnan, or I'm going to activate this thing and draw a card.
Yes. What about the
So
cleanup?
you're using your mana.
Cleanup step is a weird one because
As a
kind of
CDH
yes,
player.
kind of no.
Yes and no. Yeah.
The answer for cleanup, the simple answer for the cleanup step is no. There is no priority during the cleanup step. So just, we'll get to why it's weird, but as a quick recap, the only places in a turn where priority is not passed around is the untap and the cleanup. There is no chance for priority in those two phases. Everywhere else, you will get priority. Now, this comes with a caveat across the entire game, where if a trigger is ever placed on the stack in any of those times, priority is given. So if you have a creature that says, when this untaps, do a thing, priority is given in the untap step, even though it normally wouldn't have a round of priority. If you have a trigger that says, until end of turn, this thing is there, when that leaves, there is a trigger, and that will give you a round of priority.
So most notably, Necropotence makes you have a maximum hand size, and then they all come to the end step. They come to your hand, and then you have to discard down to hand size. But because Necropotence exiles that card from your graveyard in your cleanup step,
through a trigger.
A trigger is put on the stack, and thus giving you priority during that moment.
Yep.
So at the cleanup step, all silence effects or effects to say you can't cast spells this turn or do something this turn, those all go away. Or like Angel's Grace says you can't lose the game this turn, your opponents can't win this game this turn. Those also go away. So this gives you an opportunity to win on your turn while still being with those effects gone.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a more niche thing that you won't have to worry about most of the time. Most notable are with Necro and Gitrog Monster, or things that trigger when you discard.
Yeah, if you have
another way around it is with discarding the hand size with your commander in your hand. Because if you discard your commander, it goes on the stack of choosing it to go to the command zone, I believe.
Yes.
And that gives you priority.
Yes.
So it's another silly kind of way that technically you shouldn't have priority or a way to do this, but you can't. It's really cool. It's really cool to think about.
Yeah, there are some weird ways where you can have priority where you feel like you shouldn't. Okay. I hope that answers the question about priority. I know that one was a little bit long, but yeah, long story short, you get priority in every phase after what is supposed to happen in that phase, except for untap and cleanup. All right, final question for the night. This comes from my sister, who I will double check if she wants her name on this, but for now I will say her name. My sister, Melly. So she says, is there anything that can be done about chronic bad luck, especially stuff like when all of your good cards are at the bottom of the deck every time you play? She mentions that she stopped playing for a while after I taught her the first time because she just constantly had the worst luck, constantly mana flooded or mana screwed. And then she also adds, not a question, but Ugin is stronger and cooler than Nicol Bolas, which we all know is false.
No, that's fact.
No, it's
which one's in the meditation realm and stuck there, and which one put him there? So
Ugin is stuck there because if he leaves, everyone dies.
He
Bolas
already left. Ugin's already free.
Yeah, Bolas got out, man. Bolas got out.
Yeah,
Bolas
but
is stronger.
Who was trapped there? Okay,
Bolas is
Ugin wasn't trapped there. He chose to be there.
I don't blame that on Ugin being bad at his job. I blame that on the writers of the story not being the best anymore, to put it nicely.
Well,
that's fair.
I think they're just looking for a
story
way.
has been hurting.
I think they're just looking for a way to bring Bolas back as the next villain of the season, which I'm here for.
Give it more than 5 years. He's literally locked up for 5 years. We got SpongeBob memes going on.
Anyway,
do the crime.
So,
balloon.
Okay. So how do you deal
back to the question.
How do you deal with bad luck? So I know if you go online, you can look up a lot of Wiccan and pagan rituals that can kind of help with luck. 4-leaf clovers are often given as ways of getting luck.
Yeah.
Lucky Rabbit's Foot.
Lucky Rabbit's Foot can help. Yep.
If you cut off Miss Bumbleflower's foot, very lucky.
True.
So I know
Very
that
lucky.
there's a lot of old people who love to play bingo, and they'll carry a lot of like knickknacks around with them because they believe that they're good luck. Steal one.
Ooh, yes.
Just go to a
Yeah.
bingo house while a bunch of old people are
Oh no,
playing
no.
and steal all of their lucky knickknacks.
Estate sales. Just go hit up some estate sales
Oh, after they're
and then get all
dead.
the weird knick-knack things. Yeah, that way you don't have to steal them. And you give some
Perfect.
money to their kids.
Perfect. Yeah, you don't have to steal knickknacks. Sometimes the luck doesn't stay with you, you know. But if you buy them when they're dead, it's probably still got some luck left, right?
There are a lot
Yeah,
of Magic players who are balding, and you could rub their heads.
Is that a
They might
call
not like
out?
it, but
it's
the
true.
luck is coming
Is
through.
is that a call
You're
out,
bald,
Zach?
so if you rub Josh's head, it's a great way to get some luck.
I'm specifically going to
As a
leave them.
minor caveat, ask for permission first.
Yeah, you
Preferably.
better ask before you rub my head. If you rub my hand without asking, you're going to have bad luck in the fact that you will experience severe and immediate stomach pain.
It's not gonna be an arm wrestle to see who goes first. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
I do
full-on
think
fight.
if you get the right people, though, they will think it's hilarious and let you do it.
Yes.
True.
If you ask
True.
nicely,
I
maybe
was-
give me a booster pack, I might let you rub my head for good luck.
If I was bald and somebody asked if they could rub my head for good luck, I would be like, absolutely, rub away.
Nate, if you were bald, I think I would lose my mind. You are like,
Okay.
it's wrong. It can't happen.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen my dad's hair. It's pretty thin, or my older brother's. It might happen someday.
But like
It might happen.
your hair is like the combination of me and Zach's, right? Where I have no hair on
Pretty
my
much.
head, but I have facial hair, and Zach has no facial hair, but really long hair. You are the combination of both of us. So if you go bald, I don't know what to do, man.
Right?
I
And
do
then I
love
got
the
that
Viking
caveman
braids
flare.
you do. 10 out of
Yeah,
10.
10 out of 10. I need to get my sister to do those more. Those are fantastic.
Yeah. Once my
It just
beard's
takes
long
a
enough,
while.
once my beard's long enough, I'll start braiding it. But I got like a year or more before it's gonna get to a braidable length.
Well, and then
That's
also
fair.
it depends on if your beard will actually get long enough for that. Because as somebody who's let their beard grow for basically as long as it will, it kind of like really slows down after a point.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have to trim it like the top of your head. So
Yeah, I'm worried I'm hitting
it
that
might be even
point.
longer than you think.
Yeah, I'd like a long, you know, Gandalf or Gimli style beard. I don't know if I'll
Yeah.
get there, but I'd like it.
One day.
Anyway.
Realistically, though, like bad luck, it's just going to happen. I mean, variance is 100% part of the game. There's going to be some times where you just get screwed.
Yeah,
It's how it goes. I mean, like even professional players in professional settings, like playing for thousands and thousands of dollars, like they still get screwed over by variance. Like
yeah.
they didn't draw what they needed. They didn't draw land. Like
And
It's
people
just- it's
talk
gonna
about
happen.
it as if it was like the reason that Magic is a bad game is because there is variance. And to them, I say, do you play any other game? Variance is an integral
variance
part
is
of
always-
any game you play ever. Throw out any
Mhm.
game to me right now, and I will tell you how variance plays in. Even if that variance only comes in the way that, you know, the AI behind the game decides to attack you, or, you know, sometimes your damage has a range it can do, right? Where it can do this to this damage.
Yeah.
Your opponents have different reactions they can do depending on what they're hit by. Variance is a core part of every game, and therefore a core part of being good at any game is removing that variance. So
to the most that you can, which is like why
Exactly.
Right.
like decks that are stronger are more tuned to be less variant. Like CDH decks are tuned to be as efficient as they possibly can. Doesn't mean variance won't still happen. Like I kept a hand with like 2 lands and I need 1 more land to really like get going, but like
yeah,
maybe you just never draw it, or like I just didn't draw like my necropotence. I paid 38 life and I just didn't get there. Like it happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
So as upsetting as it may be to hear, the answer to this question kind of is just get good. If your deck is struggling because you're either not finding lands or finding too many lands, look at the amount of lands you're playing versus the rest of your deck. So in Commander, I generally stay around the 36 to 37 range. I don't typically go higher unless my Commander costs more than like 5 or 6 mana, right? If you are running into the fact that you just can never draw your good cards, put more card draw in the deck. If you're, you know, struggling because you never have removal for the big things, add more removal. The trick to mitigating that variance and that bad luck is to make it so your deck plays across all of its strengths a little bit better, add more card draw, add better land ramp. Things like that can really help to mitigate some of this bad luck that you can run into.
Yep. And there's just gonna be times where you draw 3 lands in a row and you're like, cool, I was here.
Yeah.
But like just as easily as it can happen to you, it can happen to your opponent. Like I cannot count the times that somebody gets mana flooded. And they're like, well, I'm just here. I'm playing, but I'm here. Like
Yeah.
it happens.
And not getting down about the game where you're like, oh, well, I got flooded, because it happens to everybody.
Yeah.
It happens to the pros.
It can feel bad, but it's just part of the game. It's unfortunate.
Yep. Like you have to have a little bit of luck on top of everything else.
Yeah. It can just happen. But all else fails, cut off Miss Bumbleflower's foot.
She's not using them. She's just making some soup.
She's got 2. All right. Don't be
you
greedy.
got 2, right? We already sold our kidneys last week.
Exactly.
What more do we need?
You can only live with 1 foot. I've already thought about this. Like, genuinely, I've thought about this. Like, if I had to lose 1 limb,
she'd be a pirate.
Or whatever, I would lose my left leg. That's, I think,
okay, Miss Bumbleflower would be a kick-ass pirate, though.
Like, oh, absolutely.
She would. She's real good at kicking with those rabbit
She's
legs.
already a crime lord, so like,
I'm pretty sure.
What more does she need?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, as we move to the end of the step here, let's quickly go over anything that we're doing outside the game that we want to talk about. I mean, let's get the big one out of the way. Nate, you're...
Yeah, what's the Nemo meme where it's like, today's the day?
Exactly.
Today's the day. The tank is clean.
The tank is clean. We're going to the convention.
Yeah. This week is Dragonsteel Nexus. Whoop whoop. So I will be leaving here in the great old state of Idaho on Wednesday to go down to Utah to be at the convention center.
That's only because you live there.
It's true.
Like, I live in Utah. The views here are great in this part of Utah that I live. I miss Idaho. I want to go back.
That's fair. That's fair. But I will be at the Salt Lake Convention Center at Dragonsteel Nexus on Thursday.
If you see him, say hi.
Yeah, if for some reason you're listening to this and you are also attending Nexus, I would absolutely love to meet you. I will have cool knickknacks.
Yeah, get one of the
knickknacks. If you come and say, hey, I listened to your show, I will give you one of all the knickknacks that I have.
Yeah.
I'll happily.
Promo code Manabonded.
Send an email through to our email at manabonded@gmail.com. Put in the subject line Dragonsteel Nexus if you're going to be there. And if you want to meet up with Nate, he will respond and you guys can get something worked out.
Yeah, Mr. Sanderson, if you're watching too.
This is unfortunately going to be coming out the last day I'm there. So that might not work out the best. But
if you time it right.
If they have been listening, hey, hit me up while they're there. Yeah. I'll be there all the way through Saturday. So it comes out Friday. So if for some reason you're listening to this also, thanks. But yeah, no, I am putting some finishing touches up on some fun cosplays that I'm going to be doing. And
do you have multiple cosplays planned for different days?
I do. So I have the sheep that I've talked about before where, I'm going to be Molly. So that is technically going to be a gender bend cosplay because Molly is a girl sheep and I definitely identify as a man, as a he, as a him. But I love Molly. Molly is a great character, a great little side character in one of the books, and an important part to one of the main characters' stories. So I thought it'd be fun to
dress up like a sheep.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be mostly a vest that looks like a sheep, and then a really janky hat that has some ears on it. So it's not going to be super insane sheep. And then also I will be dressed up as Wayne from Mistborn Era 2. He is a fantastically fun character. He likes to quip. He makes jokes about stuff, and he is all about doing what he calls trading. He is lying to himself and saying that he is not stealing from people. He is trading. Because he will take something from somebody and leave something behind.
Yeah,
and to him, it's not theft; it's trading. He traded something great for it. Yeah, and so since I'm going to be trinket trading anyway, and my sister's dressing up as Mercy, another character from the series, I figure why not go as Wayne, the guy from it. I will also be a pilot from one of his other series that's not connected to his main series. It's more of a YA book series called Skyward is the first book. It's what a lot of people refer to it as, but it's actually the Cytoverse. That one's super fun. It follows a girl who wants to become a pilot more than anything, and the stuff that goes on with that. And so I'm just going to show up as a generic pilot from the military that she's a part of, because my sister and I did that last time we went together, and my brother also is making a jumpsuit, or a flight suit. So we're going to all be able to dress up like that together. I think those are the only 3 that I have. I also have a suit jacket which has Mistborn tassels on it, which I wore last year, and I'll probably be wearing again this year to the World Hopper Ball, which is a fun dance party thing that they have at there. I think this year they're actually going to have a ball, so they have a bigger space. Last year they didn't have a very big space, so I'm excited for that. I don't know how much dancing I'm going to be doing since I'm going stag, but, we'll see.
Yeah. No, that sounds fun. Zach, anything cool this week?
Not much this week. Just looking at possibly a wedding venue, so that's exciting.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You guys have a date picked out?
We do. Hopefully September 12th of next year, so 2026.
Okay. Good
Nice.
to know. I'll leave that open so I can be there, as long as the venue's not in like Mexico or something.
Nah, most likely we're looking at like Ontario.
Okay.
So we're gonna go to the venue over there, see how it goes.
I'm sitting here going,
yeah, that's a big journey.
If the venue's over in Mexico, count me in, man. I went on a cruise wedding, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I would just need a lot of warning.
Expensive.
But if it's just going to be in like Idaho, Oregon-ish, that'll be simpler. Yeah, count me in.
We're up in Boise area or just somewhere right. So
yeah,
nice. That's all we got. That's all I got going.
Cool.
Right on.
I think I'm hitting my 2-week Minecraft phase. I'm like kind of sort of stepping into it a little bit. I'm jumping back into the
dipping
realm.
your toes in a little bit,
I've got a realm I run with my family. And I think I'm getting back in just because the Copper Golem update looked really cool, and I never really got to
Copper
play around
Golems
with
are
it.
so great.
And so I think I'm going to go and update my systems with some Copper Golem sorting.
If you want a great way to do that, Josh, you probably heard about it. Zach, I don't know how much you know about Minecraft, so I don't know if you've heard about them, but Hermitcraft. I don't have
enough dedicated WAM.
Gotcha.
I don't have enough dedicated WAM.
He needs more dedicated WAM.
Well, good luck with that right now. RAM prices are way too expensive.
Literally.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Zach
continue.
referring to he's referring to a meme about a kid in a Minecraft live thing where he's asking about dedicated WAM. Hermitcraft is one of the most popular and longest running groups that do things. They just recently started their season 11, so they've done 11 different times where they've rebuilt the world from scratch. And Exuma, finally getting his name right, his skin this time is a copper golem, and he is doing all kinds of stuff with copper golems, which is super cool. So I can link you a video. He has done a couple different copper golem sorters already, and he's kind of building them for people on the server, so that way they don't have to worry about it and they can do other cool things.
Nice.
So if you wanted to get copper golem stuff, he's a great one to do it. Great one to look at because they are fun little guys.
Yeah, that sounds good. You'll have to send me those videos.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us this week. It's just as a couple of reminders here at the end of the episode. If you have questions or situations you want advice on, send them over to us at manabonded@gmail.com. We'll take any of your questions, anything you want advice on, any stories you think that you might have been wronged in. We'll take those. And we'll give you whatever. Yeah, we're here for you. We'll give you whatever advice we can. If you like the music at the start and end of the episodes, that music is done by Steve Brown. You can find his music at stevebrownsongs.com. Our podcast artwork is done by Shadow Echopex. His work is at the link down in our show notes. We're on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram under the handle Manabonded, and we are on Blue Sky as well under the same name. So find us on there, shoot us a message, shoot us a question through there. We'd love to interact with you guys. Love to hear from you guys a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us this week. So we will see you guys next week.
Until next time.
Peace. Yeah, that is also
Yep.
good. Sorry, I just realized I have to send a Christmas list off to my mother-in-law. So unprofessional, I know.
I would like 10,000 mana crypts. Thank you.
I have one.
Now
Depressingly.
you have
Getting ready for that unban.
999,000 more.
No, I just got depressed because I right after I got my mana crypt, literally 2 weeks later is when it got banned.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
It was so sad. Zach messaged
It's
me
okay.
and he's like, "Hey, did you want that mana crypt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." And then it immediately got banned, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
I also can feel that pain. I had just within a couple weeks before that traded Thomas for our friend, redacted name.
Oh,
I
we can say
just recently
Thomas. We've
traded
talked
one of
about
our
him
friends.
before.
Oh,
He
that's
asked a
fair.
question.
He
Yeah.
did. He asked a question. Okay.
Anti-word.
I just had traded Thomas for one of his extra mana crypts that he got because he opened a lot of Ixalan.
He opened like 3 crypts or something crazy.
He opened two.
He opened
He opened two.
two.
Crypts.
He had one for himself, and then he traded me the other one. I don't really feel super bad about the trade because Thomas has got more of a budget that he has than I do, and I was able to trade him lands that I have extras of.
Sure.
So it's not like
Yeah.
I lost anything that I really needed or traded anything that I really, really needed in order to get the mana crypt.
Just unfortunate timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
Unfortunate timing.